start recording. Okay. Let me put my phone on silent. All right. Well, thank you so much, JC, for tuning
You're
in
very welcome.
on a Saturday. I know we've been meaning to do this for some time now. But thanks again. I think that you have an amazing story. It's very admirable. It's very encouraging. I know how difficult it can be to even try to drop a couple of pounds, and your story is really phenomenal. So, let me give you a brief introduction here. So, hey everyone, I'm Monica Clavijo, and welcome to the Bear Experiment. Today's amazing guest is Giancarlo Danis, also known as JC. Now, at 39 years old and 431 pounds, yes, 431, JC was told that he had 1 year to live. With a wife, a son, and a breathing machine beside his bed, he made the life-altering decision to fight for his future. Now, today he's lost over 200 pounds. He competes in bodybuilding and is a top-performing realtor in the challenging Miami market. In this episode, JC shares how he overcame food addiction, transformed his life, and now helps others build theirs physically, mentally, and financially. So welcome to the show, JC.
Thank you so much for having me.
What a
Thank you
gr
so much.
what a great story you have, So, I follow your work in real estate and all the wonderful information that you put out there with all the transactions that you do. But your personal story is fascinating because it is so difficult to get to that mind frame where you really make this type of life altering decision, right? Like how did you do it? So let's go back to February of 2019, and what was your health like at that time?
All right. So let's see. Back in February 2019, I was laying in bed, and at that time I was 431 pounds. I was sleeping with a breathing machine. My son at the time was 5 years old, 4 years old. And I was looking in Facebook and I saw that there were two people that you see, friends from school that you see in the hallways that you say what's up to, not close friends, but people that you've seen throughout the years. And I saw that in a matter of 2 weeks, two people had died of a heart attack. They were my same age. They weren't heavy. And I said, I say to myself, I'm like, listen, if these guys are fit or normal, me at 431, I'm gonna die tomorrow,
I'm
you know?
done. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I mean, I freaked out and I said, you know what? I'm gonna go to the doctor. I'm gonna go to the cardiologist specifically. And I went to a guy here and he did all my tests, he did all this stuff. I was like the healthiest fat guy on the planet. I had no high cholesterol, I had nothing, like everything was perfect. But he did find that my right leg had about 7% blood flow. So he said, listen, as a doctor, I can't really talk to you like this, but I'm going to give you some advice. He said it with bad words, but I'm not going to say it on the podcast. But
You can, it's okay, but you,
okay,
you
so
whatever you're comfortable with.
his exact words were, so he goes, listen, do you have a child? I said, yeah. He goes, how old? It's like 5. I said, okay. He's like, all right, well, I'm going to tell you something. You fucked up your life. Okay. You're going to fuck up your kid's life because you're not going to last more than a year and a half. He goes, if you believe in God, I'll give you 2 years. If you don't believe in God, you're dead in one.
Why do you think the doctor spoke to you so harshly? Do you think it was because, you were only 39 and you were a father? Was there something deeper? Was it a spiritual connection that maybe you had with the doctor? What do you think it
No,
was?
no, he's just very blunt. He's very blunt
Old school.
and yes, very old school. He just told me straight up, like he knew it wasn't like your typical doctor appointment. Hey, you could have a problem or
Yeah,
diabetes.
yeah.
This, no, no, no. He was like, look, because he saw it, like he saw it. I'm there, like I couldn't walk. You know what I mean?
Were-
You're at that
So
level where,
how did you get around? Did you have to have
no, 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 no. I didn't do that.
support or?
I didn't get around. Like it affected me. I'm a very social person. I'm very outgoing, and I'm the guy that gets up and dances first at a party, and all that shut down. I was in my house. My life was from the bed to the dining table, from the dining table to the sofa, to the sofa to the bed.
So
That's it.
you were like this hermit stuck in your house,
Wasn't
basically,
doing
right?
anything. The little I walked was inside my house. So it was horrible. It was horrible. And then my family would want to see me. And I'm like, no, 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 I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go there. I had a client who at that time wanted to buy a condo that was like 1.1 million or something like that. And I didn't help him because I was embarrassed for him to see
That's what I was
how
going to ask
good
you.
I
So
was
it was an embarrassment already at that point, right?
completely.
Like being seen like that in public. Now, were you always heavy set or did this happen as an adult?
No, I was always heavy. So I was a preemie. I was born at 6 months.
Really?
Yeah, so I had a lot of what my parents told me, a lot of steroids and stuff to get my lungs better and to
Developed,
get
sure.
bigger.
Hmm.
Yeah, so and plus the Hispanic mentality of you need to eat, eat, eat. You don't
Hmm.
leave your food on the table.
Dale comida al niño para que se
There
ponga
you go.
fuerte. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the more you ate, the more of a man you were. So it's that didn't help. So nah, I was my whole life I was a chubby kid. And then when I got to 10th grade, I dropped weight. When I saw the girls in high school, I was like, oh my God, I
It,
gotta
it,
drop weight.
isn't that usually the case, right?
Yeah. So I dropped weight in 10th grade. I was thin in 11th and my senior year. And then I got my first girlfriend in my senior year, like first real girlfriend. And then I had the challenge of like every time I had a girlfriend, I gained weight. Every time I got comfortable, gained weight
Because you got right. So you took
because
the
I got a
words out.
girlfriend.
Because you got your girl and now you're getting in your comfort zone
There you go.
and now you go back to your old ways of eating and that because that's what makes you feel good.
Of course. And
Yeah.
that's why I'm telling you all these details because I want people to hear this. Like I'm a real life person. I know what it is to feel when you get in a relationship, when you have a kid, that the pantry has snacks, that, the mental problem with when it comes to obesity and food addiction. I lived it. And what I achieved, listen, and I don't want to sound conceited, but nobody does what I did. So I know the full circle. Like there's no excuse. Like you can do it. Period. Like no matter.
Let me ask you this, JC. So in your family, does obesity run in your family or were you the only one that was dealing with this level of weight?
No, I was the only one. I mean, I didn't blow up really bad until my son was born. That's when everything went like really when I gained a lot. The rest I was like, you're chubby kid, you're fat kid. That's
Yeah,
it. You
right.
know?
Right. Okay, so talk to me. So, what is it like to get to that point where you're having to sleep with a breathing machine on because you can't do it on your own because you're so heavy?
It's horrible. It's really embarrassing. Like physically, it didn't bother me. I just wouldn't wear it because I was embarrassed for my kid to see me with the machine.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want him to see me with that.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't wear it. So it was worse. So I would choke in the middle of the night. I would stop breathing over 100 times.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. It was really bad. It was really bad.
So your son is a little boy, 5 years old, and he's seeing you where you're struggling with your life on a daily
Yeah,
basis.
correct.
So the doctor gives you this prognosis where he's like, "Listen, if you don't get your shit together, you have a year to live." What goes through your mind at that very moment when he tells you that?
I just thought about him.
Yeah.
I didn't think about anybody else. It was just him.
Yeah.
I started crying, but like crying, like bawling, crying. I couldn't. I left there like crying, like traumatized, like bad.
So you're in the car, you're driving home. What do you tell your wife at the time?
No, so
What's the conversation
no.
that takes place?
So this is how bad it was. The cardiologist tells me, this is my cell phone number. I need your wife to call me today.
No way.
No doctor gives you their personal cell number.
That's impressive though. That's amazing that
Yeah.
he went that far with you. That's great.
Yeah. He's like, have her call me because this is serious. So she called him and he told her, you need to make something happen because now he's gonna die. He will die in a year. Period. Like that. It was, yeah. Like this guy went all out. This guy
So
went all out.
so what kind of emotional support then that you get at how important was the emotional support that you received at home for your journey to begin with your weight loss? Because you explained to me that the first thing that you started doing is you started walking, right? Like that's
Right.
step one. Let me start walking. How important is that home emotional support for you to begin that first step to walking where you're using your son stroller? to hold you up because you can't do it
Yeah.
on your own.
So, I mean, with me, it was just more of like, once he scared me, it's done. Like I always tell people, you're going to get to your goal with two things. Either you get scared or you're extremely motivated. If not, it's going to be very hard to do it because, I mean, think about it. You weigh 500 pounds. If you lose 100 pounds, you're still 400.
Yeah,
If you lose 200 pounds, you're still 300. You know what I mean? If you lose 300 pounds, you're still 200, which today everyone thinks you're fat at 200.
for real. For
So
real.
think
Now,
about it.
yeah, if you're not 100 pounds, you're overweight now, right?
Yeah.
Like
So
that's
it's
the
like
standard.
you freak out. Like you think you're like what? I have to do all of this to lose 300 pounds to be thin. So people give up.
So
People give up.
did you see like a nutritionist to help you
So
set yourself up?
what I did was the first step that I did was I was looking at different options. I did see a nutritionist, and she kind of guided me calorie wise on things to eat, right? But I thought, okay, I know myself. I need something that can be sustainable. So I didn't want to do like keto. I knew that I had to reduce carbohydrates and things like that. And I didn't want to live off of just chicken and broccoli. So I started eating paleo, which lets you eat basically the four food groups. And I started doing that. And then
The caveman diet.
the caveman diet. And then I started walking in my neighborhood. I would push my son's stroller, take, 3, 4 steps, lean against the car. Take 3, 4 steps, lean against the car.
And how long were you doing that for? Like when you first
Oh,
started, how long were you out there? 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes? How long did you push
not,
for?
I don't remember the time. I just know that I went, one time around the block and then two
Yeah.
times the block. And then I would jog one, walk one. Um, and then I found that there was, so I had said to myself, okay, when you get to 299 pounds, you're going to start lifting weights. So when I went to 299, I went to a place that does like circuit training. So it's a 30-minute kickboxing weight type of exercise place.
That's like what they do at that place, Orange Theory, right?
It's called 9 Round.
Yeah.
It's called 9 Round. So I started going there. I would, since it was close to the house, I would walk to 9 rounds. So I would run one block, walk another block, run one block. You know what I mean? And then I just started getting a little bit more active as I was doing the circuit training. The girl that worked there, she saw that I was like motivated. I was always trying hard. So she was like, here, get these weights and do this in between. So she would tell me to start doing the curls with my arms. So I would start doing it. And in the first year, I lost 100 something pounds. I don't remember the something, but it was 100 something pounds.
How often were you working out, even if it's around the block? Were you working
I
out
went
every
every
day?
day. I
Every
went every day. Monday through Friday, every day. Um, So that's basically it. Like I started doing the 9 round and eating. And then one day I was, I'm thinking, man, there has to be a different way that all these athletes enjoy their life, that have a popsicle, an ice cream or something. Like, what do they do? So I started looking at YouTube, and you know how YouTube on the side has little videos?
Yeah.
There's one of this guy from South Africa, and it said in 2 years I went from obese to a uh, WBFF bodybuilder. I looked at the video. The guy was heavy. He was nowhere near how big I was.
You don't
And
remember his name?
Sean Brotha, I'll never forget it.
Sean Brotha. Let's look him up.
Yeah,
Sean Brotha. Uh-huh.
yeah. So, and he had this little cool song in his video, of his transformation video. So I played that song every single day.
That was your motivation, right? Like listen, like if he could do it, I could do it.
Well, my dream was to have abs and be on a stage, but I wasn't going to compete with bodybuilders. So I found out that federation had a transformation category. So you would compete against guys who were heavy,
Heavy and lost the
and-
weight.
right? So I'm like, I told the owner of 9 Round, hey, can you train me for this? So he trained me, and I started doing it. We're training, and then COVID hits. You canceled the meetings, canceled the shows, canceled the stuff, but I would still train during COVID.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like there's no excuse when you want something.
Yeah.
So I trained during COVID. We would sneak into the gym so the cops wouldn't see that we were out in the street.
How wonderful. That's
And
great. You took the positive approach to COVID. So many people just stayed indoors, doing everything unhealthy that you could be doing because,
Yeah.
they had so much time on their hands. Before we get into the bodybuilding portion and your weight training portion
Sorry if
of
I'm
it.
rambling.
No,
So many
no,
things
it's
come into my
great. I
head.
just I just want to really understand the process. So food addiction is very powerful, right? Like any other addiction, whether it's drugs, alcohol, porn, whatever you want to call it, right? It's a form of addiction. So how would you describe your relationship with food before this transformation? Like what has changed drastically, other than that you're doing the special diet, right? The caveman diet. But you
Right.
you were explaining to me that you chose that diet in particular because you knew that that fat boy inside of you was going to fail at all the other diets because you were going to get tired.
Right.
So walk us through that because I think that's important because I think that's where a lot of people fail because you start off all motivated, you're working out, you're eating healthy, and then there's a pizza and you have a craving and you're like, I'll eat the whole thing. Why not? What the heck? And now you ruin everything, right?
That's exactly what you do.
Yeah.
I mean, so how can I say this? Your body's designed to work eating the four food groups.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to have carbs. So like with me, when you're super heavy, you don't have anything else. You don't fit in airplanes, you don't fit in restaurants, and you don't fit in benches. Like life sucks.
Yeah.
You can't get around anywhere. So what did I have? My kid and my food. At the time I was married, okay, my kid, my food, my wife. That's it. You know what I mean? And it was just food, 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 food. So that's your only happiness. And I saw myself gaining weight, but it didn't matter because
You couldn't
that was
stop.
my drug. That was my drug. You can tell an alcoholic, look, you could stop drinking beer or whiskey, but you can't stop eating. You have to eat.
Right, right. You need to eat. You need to fuel
You
yourself.
need to
Right.
eat. So I had that, the anxiety, the food was the only thing you have. You weren't
So
happy in any other
so
sense.
what was like your emotional triggers for eating?
I didn't, no, I didn't have it. I just like to eat.
You just want to you just love food. You're like a fat boy that
Yeah,
loves
like
food.
I'm not of those softies. Oh, I'm sad, so I'm gonna eat. No, I just like to eat, period. That's it. Like I liked food. And then I was big, so to fill that stomach up, I needed a lot of food.
I hear you. Listen, I feel the same way around food. I just think I have like a pretty good metabolism. I'll gain weight, but I've never gotten obese. Thank God. And you never had any surgeries or anything like that, the
No,
gastro
so no, so it's complicated. This is another story that I have to say. So I don't know how much time we have, but
We have
yeah,
all the time. I know that you wanted to go to a golf tournament with your son, so,
yeah, no. As soon as he's ready and we're done, he'll go. It's fine. It's all day.
Yeah.
Um, so back in 2003, I had a band, those lap bands that they put around in your stomach. So I was part of a research study.
Gotcha.
So I got it for free. I had a lap band in 2003. In 2004, they had to remove it
Why?
because my esophagus almost exploded. The band tightens your stomach and it builds like a little pouch on top.
Mm-hmm.
So my food would get stuck in my esophagus. So my esophagus would act as my stomach and it would stretch, 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 stretch. And one day I started, like I threw up and blood came out.
Mm-hmm.
So they did whatever, all the tests, and it had perforated my stomach. You could see the band from the inside of my stomach. It's put around. It went through the skin of the stomach. My esophagus was like this big.
You didn't feel any pain?
No, until I didn't see that blood, I didn't realize anything.
Wow. Okay.
So they took it off. Um, so technically, yes, that was my surgery, but I didn't have like it didn't. What I did wasn't because of a surgery. I tried to get surgery after,
Uh-huh.
and they couldn't operate my stomach because I had all those problems that were caused by the
You
band.
had the damage from before, from the
So if
previous
they
stuff.
if they cut if they cut through tissue that's not fully healed, I can leak and I can die.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I went in for surgery, couldn't have it. I ended up getting surgery for repairs.
So I was
Well,
going to ask you that. So did you have to have reconstructive surgery then for
yeah,
excess
I
skin?
went in for a gastric sleeve and I walked out with
Okay.
a new esophagus size, 3 hours of scar tissue removal.
Awesome. Okay.
Um, The guy fixed the anatomy of my stomach. He told me it was completely done. Everything.
Really?
The acids. He said your esophagus is destroyed because of all the acids. It was
That we're
worse
going
than
up.
the stomach.
That's crazy.
So that was like a sad moment, but I thank always that doctor. And am I allowed to mention doctors and
Absolutely.
so
Absolutely.
Moises Jacobs from Jackson Memorial Hospital.
Okay.
He
He's
is
the
the
one that.
man, and that hospital is what they helped me through this process.
So when
And
you go in to try to get the gastric bypass surgery, again, not knowing that you had all these previous issues that they wouldn't be able to perform it, did you have a conversation with the doctor to remove the excess skin at that point, or they just kind of like were like,
no, no,
we're
no.
gonna help them?
This is a surprise. Like I go to him, do the insurance, I get approved, I go to get my surgery,
Yeah.
and all he could do was do whatever he was able to do. But did I get a full-blown gastric sleeve to help me? No.
No. No.
I woke up the following day and his first words were, I don't want to see you ever again. But laughing.
Yeah,
He was
of
laughing.
course. Of
He's like,
course.
I spent 4 hours just removing scar tissue. 4 hours. He goes, the anatomy of your stomach was completely destroyed.
Well, no, thank God. Thank God that you went in for that because God
That's why
knows what
I
would have long-term problems you would have had then,
100%,
you know?
100%.
Everything happens for a
So,
reason.
yeah, I mean, if he removed any portion of my stomach, was scar tissue, stuff like that. But, can I have a pizza right now? I can eat the entire pizza.
Yeah.
Am I those people that
So
one
that
end
never goes
full?
away.
No problem. You know what I mean?
Okay, so then what kind of strategies do you apply for like to stay consistent with discipline, especially during like hard times? Like we all have stress. Life happens and sometimes food really is a happy place, right? You're just like, I need to
Yeah.
have that steak with rice and beans. How do you get through those times when you know you shouldn't?
No, I mean, look, rice is not bad. You can have it. Just have a little bit of it. Beans are not bad. Just have a little bit of it. That's it. It's all about portion control. Like I went from eating so strict and I realized that all that matters is the calories in versus calories out. Period. That's it.
So
I mean,
how did you measure the calories that you were eating?
I had a coach that she told me what calories I needed. And then I just picked whatever I wanted and I
Hmm.
ate based off those macros. They call them macros.
Hmm.
That's it. And I pick and chose whatever I wanted. And that was it. I mean, and just common sense. Don't have sugar.
Right,
Don't eat, fried chicken. Like it's things like that. But
right.
if I want it, I'll have it. So like I came up with like a little system to help people. And it's very simple. If you're gonna eat a protein, eat it from the middle of these fingers here to down here.
Okay.
That's the size of your protein.
Uh-huh.
You're gonna have a carb, whatever you can grab with one hand, serve it on carbs. You want to fill up 2 handfuls of whatever you can grab of vegetables. That's it. That is a something easy way to measure.
That's an easy way to remember. It's an easy way to
Done.
guide yourself anywhere that you're at. You're
Done.
out in public, anywhere that you're at a restaurant. That's
That's
how you eat.
it. Eat any protein you want. Who cares
Protein. So
what has more
protein.
calories?
So the size of your hand.
From here, from the lines in the bottom, but the
So
bottom lines of your finger down to here.
okay. So the
That's it.
protein. Okay.
Correct. Whatever
Carbs.
you grab with one hand with carbs
And then two hands
and
for
two
all the
hands of
veggies you
veggies.
want.
Or put three of veggies. It doesn't who cares? You need to fill up with the veggies. That's what they're there for. They're like empty calories.
Right. 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 Right.
Just to fill up. That's like a rule of thumb that I, tell people. And try to drink at least a half a gallon of water. I know it sucks. I carry with a little military jug of water
Everywhere you go.
everywhere I go.
How many times a day do you eat?
I eat five.
Is it because of
My
your
head.
okay. All right.
I
Yeah, I
get
was gonna say,
hungry.
like, is it a bodybuilding thing or it's
No,
just
I got used to it. That's another thing. The small meals, 5 times a day. Another way that you can do it where you can sustain this lifestyle. Have breakfast, have lunch, have dinner, right? Everyone can do that. That's a piece of cake. But they're like, oh, how do I eat 2 more meals? I don't have time. Drink a
snack?
shake here and drink a shake here. Get
Okay.
some water, protein powder, get a good tasting one. I don't promote this company, but I'm going to show you it because
Yes,
it
please.
tastes good. I don't promote anybody anymore. I used to promote people, but this one right here,
Legacy.
Legacy.
Okay, and where do we get Legacy at?
You're not going to find it on Amazon. You're going to
No?
have to get it. Just look online. Look on, I'm sure you'll find it somewhere online.
Like a GNC will have it?
No, more like the regular, normal mom and pop type stores.
Okay.
So there you have 5 meals and you're good to go. And you can do it. It doesn't matter where you are. Have whatever protein you want, even if salmon has more calories. Yes, it does, but just, like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you can't be, I mean, unless you're competing. I understand that if
Yes.
you're going into a competition and you have, like, I see how these people, I have a girlfriend that came on the podcast, and she was in a bodybuilding competition, and she was explaining to me, she's my age, 48 years old, everything that she had to do to eat to be able to compete. And I was like, how the hell were you able to achieve that? Like, it's like
Yeah.
you're taking your food everywhere you go, you're weighing everything, the water, the protein shakes, and it's really like a complete, it's a job. It's almost like a
Sucks.
full-time job.
It
Yeah.
sucks.
She
It
looked
sucks.
she looked ridiculously amazing.
Listen, when I won that world championship, at the time I told my wife, I'm like, I am super ripped right now. And we were in Vegas. I'm like, can I dance at a strip club?
Let me take advantage of
I'm
this
like, let me
time.
dance at a strip club. I've
How
been fat my whole life. I mean, it's just, I said it as a joke,
oh,
She's like, no, you're
obviously.
not.
It's so funny because I always say that, like, I'm gonna get ripped. I'm gonna start working. I'm gonna wear spandex all day long. That's all I'm gonna wear is spandex.
Yeah.
Obviously I'm not gonna do that, but yeah, it takes so long for you to get there, and it's such hard work that
But then,
and you look good and you feel good, the bottom
yes,
line.
but this is the discouraging part. This is where I had to learn to do it on a sustainable way, like a way that you can do it always. And I had a 6 pack when I went to sleep. I drank 2 gallons of water. I had a little bit of a brownie. I had some sushi and I had a Moscow Mule celebrating. When I woke up,
Yeah,
I had a two
you
pack.
were bloated.
I had a 2 pack.
You were bloated. Why? Because you just like it's just
It's just my
fresh.
body. It is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I had a 2 pack. So you know what? I said, fuck this, no more.
Well, I'll take a Tupac over
But I but
over
I said
nothing.
no more because you don't know what you have to do to get your body to that point.
Yeah.
Like you don't drink water the last day of the competition. You don't drink water, you spray water in your mouth. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's horrible.
And what does that do for you when you compete, like personally? How is that fulfilling for you? Like,
Well, I
describe the
had my
feeling when you're out there and everybody's clapping for you and you're just like, you
you
know,
want to know something? I know it's gonna sound so fake. I didn't give a crap about who was clapping for me. I was looking at my son jumping up and down, going like this.
oh, I love that. Well, he's
And
the
if
one that got you there, right?
you see the video, you'll see that they hand me the video, and I'm like, you see me going like this. I did this for you. I did this for you.
Oh,
That's what I was saying on
I
the
have
stage.
goosebumps. Oh, that's so cute. I love
And
that.
when I was training the whole time before my first competition, because I did 3, before the first one, I would cry on the treadmill and I would grab on, I would walk and I would cry because I would picture me giving him a trophy. And they didn't give trophies at the time. They only gave it at the world championships. The other ones, they would give you a medal. And there's a video that I posted way back that, everybody's applauding and I get my medal and I put it in my son. I said, look, Papi, this is for you. And, like I gave him a hug, I gave him a kiss. And that was my focus. That was my focus. It wasn't the prize. The prize was $2,000. It
Yeah.
was nothing. I
It,
spent
it
more in tickets going to Las Vegas.
it's all the hard work that got you to that point, and the
Yeah.
fact that you did it for your son. And not
Yeah.
only that, like I can only imagine your son's reaction, right? Like you're his father, what you've achieved, and maybe at the time he was so young that he doesn't even fully understand that now that he's getting older, he does all the sacrifices that you did to get to that point.
Yeah.
That's pretty badass, dude. That's pretty badass.
Yeah.
So how did your identity shift as that weight like kind of started dropping off? Like, were you feeling a little more confident or
Um, I mean, even heavy, I've always been the whole like, you have beautiful blue eyes. What a beautiful face. Like I've always heard that my whole life.
sí,
So,
tú eres bonitillo.
so like that's what I would always hear as my kid. I would always hear ay, pero qué cara tan bella. Like, what a beautiful face. Why are you so heavy? Like a million
Talk about
times.
a backhanded compliment, right?
Always hear that. So like I've always been a people person, very outgoing, very
Mhm.
fun. I would not be afraid to talk to a girl because I was heavy. You know what I mean? So it didn't really like affect me. I did get a lot of attention on like social media. Um, but I don't think it was more because of my weight loss. I just think that I get people appreciated how like wow, this guy was able to do this. I guess that was more of the the
Insp-
turn on
I
more
think
than the looks, I guess.
because it's inspiring because a lot of these let's call them influencers, right? That are out there and there's like I've seen everything that you post and I mean you're in underwear, right? Like showing your muscles and you're at the gym. No, but your posts don't come across as like cocky and that you're showing off and that you're better looking than everybody else. Like I don't get that arrogance from you. A lot of these people that work out, you're just like, "Oh my God, really?" Like you need to come down to reality a little bit, so that you can be able to connect with other people, right?
Right,
And I think that that's what you have. You were so heavy, you lost so much weight, you've gotten in such great shape that you're very you're inspiring others,
right.
right? Because it's like if he could do it, at 431 pounds, I can certainly do it, right? I just need to like get my shit together and follow his lead. And
Yeah.
you're so easy and approachable. I think that that's really what you have going for you and why you've been successful. Do you train other people?
No, no, no. I tried doing that at that time. But no, like I would only go and like I would help people and I wouldn't charge them. Like if somebody was like, hey, listen, can you show me give me a workout? Like I gave a workout. Like I opened a nonprofit in Florida. I closed it because I started working again. Fitness is not my thing. At least not for money. I did it
Right.
more to
To
help.
help others.
Yeah. So I would give a free workout, I had free YouTube videos on how to do every single exercise. Like I had everything for people who can't afford a trainer. So it was all there just to help everyone.
But
Um,
you're not doing that anymore.
no, 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 because no, that the social media world, the stuff, no,
It wasn't for you.
I liked it, but it brought too many problems. Too
Okay.
many problems. It's not
Gotcha.
even
Got
worth it. Like it's too many problems. Too many problems.
I
So
gotcha.
I'm like, you know what? I do good in real estate. Let me just keep on doing real estate.
Let me not come on. Let me not fix what's not broken, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, okay, so your first how many competitions have you done?
So I did three.
Okay. And what was the first competition experience like? That first time
That
that
was awesome. It
yeah.
was awesome. It was super cool because I'm like, I get on a stage and like I wake up and I'm like super ripped. I'm like, oh my God, like it was incredible. But um I don't know. It's so many emotions because you've been heavy your whole life and you're like, oh my God, I have a six pack at my legs, my quads. Because since I was so heavy, my legs had to carry a lot of weight. So as soon as I lost the fat around it,
It was
like
like
my
muscle,
muscles
just
were
pure muscle.
huge. Like they were huge. My calves are like a soccer player's calves. I've never played a soccer game,
Yeah.
but it was because I carried so much weight for so much time. And it
You didn't even know that you had that underneath there. You that was capable. That's
at
funny.
all, at
I
all.
follow this. She's a young girl on TikTok. She's young. She's got to be like early 20s. But I guess she was, she didn't even she teaches how she eats, like you said, like, 5 times a day. Pero she's very clean. She works out like a monster. Pero she is ripped. When I tell you I'm like, it's a little too much for my taste, but she's saying exactly what you said. She's like, I didn't even realize that you can get to this level, that your body can achieve this. And you see her flexing, and she's just so proud of herself because I guess once you see that, I mean, you went through it, right? Once you see all those muscles coming out, you're just like, oh my God, that was here the whole time.
It's there, and I mean, we have to do like a 3 hour podcast for this because there's so many things mentally and emotionally and that you feel that you go through. You start changing as a person. Like you become even more confident in the sense that you look people into their eyes now. You know what I mean? Like you don't have the mentality of, oh, you're better than me because you have more money or whatever. You don't think like that
But
anymore.
okay, that happens to you when you just work out a couple of times a week, right? Like it just does something to your body where all of a sudden you're just like feeling better, you're more confident, right? Like you're just like, let's
Yeah.
go, like we're gonna close this, let's go,
Yeah.
you
But then
know?
it gets to the ugly part where you're like, you walk by every store and you look at yourself in the mirror. You're like,
Ah, the reflection.
reflection, my stomach. I still tell my kid, do I look fat? Do I look fat? He's like, oh my God, really, Dad?
It's like a
Really?
mental thing, right?
Yes,
Un
yes,
trauma. It's like a
yes.
trauma.
I was ripped and I felt fat. Now, years later, that I see those pictures, I'm like, damn.
Yeah, that's funny.
Now, not then.
No, those pictures of the before and after with you are really, really impressive. Do
Yeah.
you meal prep at all, or do you
No, I just make, well, I kind of do, but I just do like whenever I do dinner, I cook an extra piece of chicken or whatever for the following day's lunch.
see?
But that whole like a whole day of meal prep,
Because
again,
the food
not
tastes like shit.
sustainable.
Yeah, the food
And
tastes
not
horrible.
sustainable. Just, hey, very simple. When you make your dinner, make an extra piece of chicken or an extra piece. Like if it
For
was
the
another
next day
chicken, then take it to lunch the next day. And then have your fresh dinner, have your fresh breakfast. The only thing that's really like not fresh
is your
is your
lunch.
lunch, but who cares? You did it
Yeah.
the night before,
Yeah, that's not so bad.
you know?
No, it's what you're saying. Those are sustainable tips that you can really keep up with because I've done that where I've meal prepped for 3 days. And but that third day chicken, it
No, no,
doesn't
no,
even
no.
taste like chicken anymore, you know? You're
Just
just like,
do
how do
ground
people do
chicken. Do
this?
ground chicken, man. Just ground chicken
Yeah, right?
or
Picadillo,
ground
picadillo.
turkey. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the way to do it.
And I went to the extremes because of how mentally I was with the food. When I was competing, I told my ex, I said, here are here are the locks. I locked the refrigerator, the pantry,
No way.
the cabinets. Remember, you're that last week, those last 2 weeks, you're restricted of everything and you'll go crazy. Remember, you're a drug addict
Yeah.
with
With
food.
food. Yeah.
And I told her, unless you feel that I'm going to do physical harm to you, do not open
No.
anything. I'm telling you,
You're
do
like a
not open.
crackhead.
Yes, I told her, do not, no matter how manipulative I could be, no matter if I cry, no matter what the hell I tell you, unless I'm going to physically hurt you, do not open anything. And I went to that extreme. I'm telling you,
You
I did everything.
you knew I guess you knew what you had to do in
I
order
knew
to
what I
achieve those
wanted.
goals,
I
right?
knew what I
And
wanted. That was for the competition. Now they're open. It doesn't
oh
matter.
yeah, that's like who David Goggins is, right?
Yes.
I love that guy. I always bring him up when it comes to anything with working out or anything because that guy's mentality, he's like a robot. He's just like a machine with the way that he thinks.
Yeah.
And even with him, like I mean, he's out there, but like if he can do it, anybody can do it, right? Because it's a mind shift,
All in your
really.
head. It's
It's
all in
all
your
in
head.
your head. It's
That's
all
why
in
I
your
told you
head.
at the beginning. Either you get scared or you're extremely motivated.
Yeah.
If not, it's not gonna happen.
Right, right.
It's not gonna
So
happen.
right now that yeah, you're kind of like in the flow, you still take care of yourself, but you're not competing. Do you still work out every single day or
No,
you've calmed
no,
down
I,
a little bit more?
not every day. I try to work out 4 days a week, but the last couple of months I haven't. I haven't worked out like to how I normally do it. I
Hmm.
sometimes I just don't want to do it. Like the reality is if you just keep your food in check, you're fine.
It's the
You
food.
understand?
Food is 80%.
Shit, for me, food is 95%.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Um, if your food is not perfect, no matter what you do, it's not gonna work. No matter how much weights you do, it's not gonna work. No matter how much drugs you could take, it's not gonna work.
right.
It's all about your diet. So just
Do
focus on your diet.
do
I
you
say the exercise because of the feeling that you get. That, that feeling of like I did cardio, I'm sweaty, I came home, took a shower, had breakfast. When you leave that door, you feel like $1 million.
yeah, that dopamine just like right? Those
Yeah.
endorphins are kicking in. You're
Yeah.
flying.
Yeah.
Um, what's the hardest part that you would say to stay accountable? Um,
When the weekend
on a
comes,
day-to-day basis. Yeah.
when the weekend comes,
The
when
weekend,
the
yeah.
weekend comes is the hardest now at this point of my life.
Right.
Before there
Not
was,
even.
I don't want to say that there was no support from my family. There was
Hmm.
support 100%, but it's not my kid's fault that I ate to weigh almost 500 pounds. It's not my ex's fault that I got fat. You
Hmm.
understand? So my kid and she would have pizza, burgers, whatever the hell they wanted in front of me. You look at my videos all way back and you'll see like I'm at IHOP with my food,
Oh
with my
God.
little food.
See,
I'm
that would
walking
be
in
hard for me.
Disney. I'm walking in Disney with my food. And they're having ice cream and pizza and hey, eat it. That's what you get for getting fat.
And you know what it is too? Like once you eat whatever food it is that you brought that's healthy, like that hunger, right, goes away, obviously. So it's like, yes, se te quita that like anxiety that you also have, like, oh, I want that burger, right? I want those French fries. I mean,
You,
I notice that helps me, right? Like
it
sometimes it's like,
helps, but listen, it's because there's so many. Unless you don't have that problem, we can go on and on.
yeah.
I would get cheese, bite it, suck it, spit it out.
Oh my God.
I'm serious. I'm
Well,
telling you,
well,
there is nothing that anybody can tell me. I know how it feels. I had the pantry with chocolates. I had the kid with the
uh,
food. I
have you seen that video where it's like they're smelling a pizza
and they
and
my
then they're
son
eating
does that with
they're
me.
eating a cucumber?
Well, I think we were the ones that created that.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. They're like smelling the pizza and they eat the cucumber, you know? They're like
That was my game with him. It was with
triggering.
broccoli. I'm telling you,
It works. When it works.
it
It
was.
works.
I
Whatever
went through a
works.
lot. I went through a lot. I mean, and I emphasize it because it's just I want people to know that oh, you can do it.
You can do it. You
You
can
can
do
do
it.
it.
Yeah.
There's no excuse. Like not one. There's no I have a kid. Oh, but I have to make dinner for them, and I get hungry. Well, so did I. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, don't give up. You can do it. Like it's you just gotta want it bad. And the little tips that I can give is so you can sustain because there's a difference between doing it to win a competition and then okay, when you're done, what are you gonna do? You're gonna eat chicken and broccoli your whole life?
Yeah. No, you got to be realistic about life, is what you're saying. It's about, listen, you know what you have to do at this point. You know your body, right? Like I love how you're explaining like the techniques, like put a lock on everything because I know how I operate. If not, I'm going to open them and I'm going to eat it. I'm going to cheat. You know what works for you. Sometimes you got to take drastic measures to get to that
Right.
point. So let me ask you this, like think about this question.
Okay.
If you had to go back, right, to your
Uh-huh.
younger self, what would you say, knowing everything that you know now, everything that you've gone through? What would you tell that little young fat boy that was, getting to that point where like the addiction to food was so much? What would you tell yourself at that point, your younger self?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know because I don't, damn it. I would have probably not given up when I was doing, the foods when I was I can't I don't even know what to say. Man,
It's been a roller coaster. It's been a roller coaster your whole life.
I don't regret anything that happened in my life. You understand? So I can't say no, you shouldn't have had that pizza or you shouldn't have done this or you shouldn't have done that.
Mhm.
Uh, it's just one thing led to another.
I
It's
understand.
what made me succeed.
I
to that
understand.
level. So
Right.
like I can't,
If you
I don't
if
want
you
to
if you
think,
if you didn't have that failure, that right, you wouldn't have gotten to that stepping stone where now
no,
you're
no, but
working.
like as a general thing of like seeing my kid, I would just be like, just try to eat better on a
Mhm.
daily basis.
Yeah. Food, food, food.
Learn about the macros and the food on a daily basis from the moment that you're young.
Is that
That's
what is that what you want your son to learn from your incredible
yeah, I
transformation?
do, but listen, he's my kid. He has my genetics, and I know that he can gain weight at any moment. And I, still to today, I don't know what I can do for him to eat exactly how he wants, that he can sustain it, because you have that he's still a kid. He's
Yeah.
gonna grow out of that the little chubbiness, like no, he's not heavy. Like I took him to a nutritionist that I know that's very good, the one that taught me how to eat after competing.
Hmm.
And she's like, he's not fat. He's like, wait till he's 12. He's gonna stretch
Yeah,
out,
que den el
you know?
estirón. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
but I'm there like seeing, and if I see that he has a little roll, and I'm like, I would start crying.
That's your trauma.
And I
That's
start
your
crying,
yeah.
and I'm like, he wants braces. So he's got blue eyes,
Yeah.
and
He's
he's
no,
a
he's
cute kid,
gorgeous. Está bello.
cute kid. So I'm like all I think about is, when can you go to the gym? Because you know what? I want you to have all the girls.
Yeah.
Boom. Like that's, for some reason, it's like I don't want nobody to either make fun of you. I want you to feel good. I want you to be,
Yeah.
like all those things go through my head. And then I
Right.
think about it and I start crying.
Yeah, because it's those are but
I
that's what happened to you. It's not what's gonna happen to him.
get
Those are
it.
the things, yeah.
I get it. But again, I'm being real here,
No,
because
and I
that's
could
the reality
and
of,
I completely understand you, and it's completely normal what you're thinking and what you're feeling. I think that that happens to every parent, you know?
yeah.
Absolutely. So, what advice do you have for somebody that's feeling really hopeless right now with their weight and their health, and they're just like me, like, I'm 48. I'm getting to that point where I'm getting older and it's harder for me to drop weight when I want to. I used to be able to eat anything and I really can't do that anymore. I'm tired. Like, what advice do you have for or somebody that's 50 and they're fat and they're just like they have to make some dramatic changes to their life or they're going to die or get diabetes or have a heart attack?
Okay. This is gonna sound really mean. Not mean, but it's an ugly thing. But I
I,
would
I,
say it,
talk
and
like the
it,
doctor.
it worked like with a lot of people that I changed their lives in during my social media thing. If you have a child or somebody that you love really much, very, 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 very much,
Mhm.
okay, close your eyes and picture that person in front of you in a casket,
Oh, that's rough. Yeah.
okay,
Okay, that's a
and
good
know
one.
that you died because of all this eating and this obsession that you have with food,
Yeah.
because that's the only reason. That's the cause of that death, for not making that choice. So if it's your mom, close your eyes right now and picture your mom. How would she be with you in a coffin in front of her face and she's looking at you?
Yeah.
So pick the most important person in your life and put them as the one staring down at you.
You're going to make me cry, dude.
If that's not enough motivation for you,
Then right, like what
then
will
how you
be?
are.
Yeah.
But like I told you from the first minute we started talking, you either get scared or you get motivated.
You're
If
right.
not, you're not going to do it.
You're right. You're right. You
Or
are.
keep up the path. And when they tell you, look, we're going to have to amputate your leg because you're diabetic and this and this and that,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guarantee. I'll tell you right now, if I tell you now, Monica, if you eat one more burger in your life, you're going to die. Are
I
you
will.
going to have it?
I'm not going to have it.
There you go.
I'm not gonna have it. I don't want
There
to
you
die.
go.
I'm
There
not
you
ready to go yet. Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, my kid's too young. She's only 15. I can't go
There you
yet.
go.
Yeah.
You know, and
Um,
and as a positive advice, I would say, you know, don't lose faith. You're worth it. You're gold, no matter how much you weigh. Um, and perfection is not what you need to do. It's consistency.
consistency is the key to anything in
If
life, I think.
you
Yeah.
just do it, just go. If you messed up because somebody gave you a pastelito at 4 p.m.
Ay, qué
At
rico.
the office,
Go work out.
have your pastelito, continue your diet. Don't say, oh, I fucked up. I had a pastelito. Let me pig out everything and then start the following day.
Right, right. Like, oh,
Because it's
right.
worse. It's worse because you end up eating 10 of them instead of just having one and you continue to eat clean.
Yeah.
So if you fall down, just get back up. Just continue your diet for the day. You understand? If you know that you're going to go out on Saturday, if don't pick a cheat day. Cheat whenever the hell you want to feel to cheat.
Mhm.
You don't know if you got asked out on a date on a Wednesday night and that's the day that you want to have your wine and your whatever it is that your tacos or whatever. You
Mhm.
understand? Have it that day. Just
Right.
continue. Continue. You know what I mean?
I hear you. I hear you.
It's
No,
all about consistency. Do the whole little that thing,
I like that. I have
three
heard of that.
meals, two
Yeah.
shakes.
Yeah, I have read of that before. I just think like the 5 meals for me, it's a lot. Like I don't know. I feel like, but maybe if it's
You
maybe because
think,
maybe because I'm
but
eating like a pig too. I gotta get smaller portions.
if you put a scoop of protein powder with water, you're drinking water. It's flavored water. That's not going to fill you up, but you're giving your body the calories, so it just the metabolism goes faster. The more you feed it, the more it goes faster.
Let
The
let
more
me
you
let me
burn.
ask you this, and this is for personal. Creatine. What is the benefit of creatine, and when should you start taking it as a female?
Whoa, as a female, I don't know. I take creatine. I take five grams in the morning, and I take 5 grams at night.
And that's for muscle, right? And
Yeah,
and
it's for
muscle
muscle.
recuperation and
Well,
everything.
correct. And it doesn't bloat you. It doesn't,
So,
it's
but
not
is
bad.
that something that you should start taking when you have the weight loss that you're looking to be at, and then you start taking that for the muscle recuperation and development, or it doesn't matter?
I wouldn't even mess with supplements. Fix your problem with food.
Food and the protein shake.
The only supplement I tell you to buy is a protein powder because it makes life easier.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. If not, I wouldn't even have it.
No supplements, no pills, nothing
No,
like
no,
that.
no. Yeah, I'll take pills. Like I take iron. I'm low in iron, or B12. Things like that. But that's based on my blood work.
Right, right. No, no, I understand what you're saying. But to start off,
Overall, in
food,
general, listen,
yeah,
take a freaking multivitamin and that's it.
right.
Take a multivitamin. Yeah, like the problem is not the pills. The problem is not the supplement. That's not going to get you to where you need to be. Remember what I told you. It's not what drugs or pills you take. It's your diet.
Yeah, yeah.
It's your food. You know what I mean? All these bodybuilders that do steroids, it's the food that helps. That kickstarts everything else, but it's the food. You could take all the steroids you want. You can eat what you want, like do everything. However, work out as hard. If your diet is not on point, you're done.
With you working out so much and being around so many bodybuilders, how negative of a long-term effect does steroids have on bodybuilders or people that are just
Um,
consuming it?
no, it'll mess you up. Look online. You know how many bodybuilders are 40 years old and they have heart attacks?
Yeah, yeah.
They're all dying. They all die. So yes, not even long-term effects, just you're done. Like if you're a male and you're listening to this, do TRT, the testosterone replacement therapy. I take 1 cc of testosterone every week, and I
Right.
don't do it for bodybuilding purposes.
Yeah.
You know what I
Just
mean?
for your own
Yeah.
testosterone that
Tell your
starts dropping as
doctor
you're getting
if your
older.
doctor says, "Hey, take a little bit more to get a little bit more muscle." Okay,
Yeah.
but you're at least supervised by your doctor.
Correct.
There's
Correct.
blood work. You're not abusing it.
Right.
You
Yeah.
understand?
Have the doctor and no, I went to the doctor myself and yeah, it's we're starting the blood work now so that they can put me on all kinds of hormone replacement therapies
There you go.
for my age now too to help me with tiredness and all the stuff that we all experience as we get older.
Yeah.
So then what's next for JC? More competitions, coaching, mentoring, like what's
No,
up
just
with you?
just real estate. Real estate. I
Real
do.
estate.
Yeah, I do my real estate. I took 2 years off during my transformation to focus on my health, and I didn't do real estate. And yeah, once I won that world championship, I said, okay, that's it. I need to get into real estate, and that's where I make my money. That's where I'm good, like really good at, and I've been doing that. You know,
Okay,
I've been doing
so
that.
you wanna dabble into the real estate for a little bit, or
No,
how do you
that's what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life until I can keep on working.
Okay, so you want to talk about that with me a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
What questions
so
do you have with that?
so then not only has JC rebuilt his body, but he's also building futures through real estate. Now he's a top performing realtor in the highly competitive Miami market. Let's get into the current state of the real estate in Florida and what he's seeing on the ground up. So how did you get into real estate and what markets are you currently serving? Just Miami or you do the whole DMA there?
No, I do the whole thing. Miami, all the surrounding areas. I got into real estate because I was in leasing. When I was 20 years old, I got into leasing at those apartment complexes that you go in, and I was just a leasing agent.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that I leased up like there was 480 units. I leased like 330 something.
You were a beast.
It was, I was always good at sales. I would sell
Yeah.
chocolates when I was a kid. That's how I made money at school. Like
Oh
I
my
was,
God, I did that too. I started
yeah,
selling candy. I would buy it in La Vaquita and just go door to door and sell candy.
I would buy them at Costco
Yeah.
and sell them. That you had more profit buying at Costco. So I've always been in sales. So I did, good leasing. But back then, if I leased an apartment, I would get 25 bucks
Right.
as a bonus. A realtor comes in, just hands me his business card, and I do all the work. He makes 1 month's rent. So I'm like, oh hell no. I'm getting my real estate license.
For sure. Yeah.
So I got my real estate license and I just started doing that. And I started working from the bottom up. I've been from the poorest of the neighborhoods to the super high end, selling a penthouse to a Saudi prince to flying to China to bring investors, millionaires from China to Miami. I've
Nice.
done everything. So I know every step of the way. Um, yeah, that's basically it. I've been doing it for 21 years and yeah, I'm good. I'm happy.
What are your thoughts? So I was in real estate for a minute when I was in Miami, and I was working with a team just so that I can kind of escalate a little bit faster than doing it on your own, learning all the true. You take the test, you forget everything when you're actually out in the street.
The test
So
is nothing of what you do in real life.
exactly, exactly. The test is just a way for them to get money out of you because when you're out there, it's completely different. So I wanted a team to be able to kind of help me and guide me through everything. And it was a good time when I was doing real estate in Miami. But now, still, speaking to so many of my realtor friends and just talking to people that have homes in Miami, like Miami right now, especially. Miami Beach, anywhere on the beach right now with the condo collapse
Oh yeah, that's
that happened in Sunrise. You have all these assessments right now that they're getting slammed with $2,000-3,000 a month over their mortgage payment. Um, what's happening there? Like,
so as far as condos, the reason the majority of the monthly the HOA dues are going up is because of the insurance. The
mhm,
insurance, it didn't double. It was like 2.5 times the value from 1 year to the other. So if you paid $1,000, now you're paying $2,500.
that's insane.
So not even 2,000, you're paying 2.5 times more. Um, that's the main problem. And why? Because Miami is the fraud capital of the world in insurance. It's the I don't want to offend anyone, but it's
Look,
the Hispanic mentality. Not Hispanic. Not every
listen,
Hispanic.
I can say this because I'm Cuban, okay? El cubanito que está aquí, those are the first ones that, with anything with insurance, that's why your vehicles are going up, housing is going up, Medicare, Medicaid, everything. It's all them that they're dabbling into all this crap.
Yeah,
And it's like,
unfortunately, and
coño,
again, disclaimer, not everyone. I'm
No, no, no,
just
no, 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 no. I said it, and I can say it because I'm Cuban. So,
okay. So
um,
yeah, we are the fraud capital of insurance of the world.
yeah.
Of the world.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, the insurances go up. Plus the hurricanes and all that stuff, it doesn't help. But
Right.
it's mainly
Yeah,
fraud.
but there's natural disasters everywhere. Like,
Right.
yeah.
Right. So that's one thing that has them done. The collapse of that building in Surfside made it even worse. So now it's there.
That
Now
was
you have
when?
to,
That was in 2021, I think it was, right? We're in
I don't
20, yeah.
remember, I don't
Yo
remember
creo que sí.
exactly the
It
year,
was,
but
yeah, it was
right.
2021.
So now you have everyone, the city slamming on the 40-year, 50-year inspections. So you have to update these condos. You have to, to put the impact windows. Now insurances are not insuring if it's older than a certain time or it's very expensive. So it's, you have a condo, they're telling everyone, they'll tell you, okay, this project is $200,000. Now it has to be divided between these 300 apartments. And you have no choice and you have to pay it. You know what
But
I
what
mean?
happens? What happens if, for example, you're in a building and half the building is in foreclosure because people are just dropping the properties? Let's say that they're in, what happens then? How do they equally divide it in order to get those assessments in?
Those other people have to eat the entire bill.
So everybody has to, right?
Everybody
Whoever's
has to
left
pay
there
it.
has to eat that bill.
It happened in the crash. It happened in the
In
crash.
2008?
Yeah, and then there wasn't even HOA fees. You would go into these communities and the pool was black, the pool was green because
Yeah,
there wasn't even money to clean the pools.
yeah.
It was bad. It was really bad.
So
So I mean,
So
go
then
ahead.
when buildings, for example, don't have, the proper reserves because they can't collect the money, not even through the
Correct.
assessments, what happens then if I'm an opportunist right now and I have cash and I'm like, okay, let me go in there and let me buy a couple of units. The only way that I can do that is if I come in with a cash buy.
Yes, because the bank's not going to finance you.
Right, right.
So just now, even if the condo is strong, you still have to give 25% down to get financing for a condo. There are some banks that will make it happen by giving you two loans. They'll do like a, whatever, 75-15, you give 10% down, but you have to get two different loans,
In order to be able
you
to
know?
subsidize the entire
Right.
amount. Okay.
Um,
Well,
but
that's encouraging. Okay, at least,
yeah, yes, you can do it, but then the second loan has a higher interest rate, different terms than the first
it's
loan.
probably like a variable where you're getting
Right.
screwed left and right. Yeah,
Right.
with the
So like
market.
you can do it, they exist, but the problem is, are you going to do it? Do you want to do that? And then if you add up the HOA fees, right? Just get a townhouse or get a house instead of a condo because,
Are you
that
are you are
domain,
are you selling condos now? Like, are you having any movement with condos?
I sell everything. Everything is selling.
But are you is there a lot of
Are people
movement on
buying?
your end with
Yes.
are you seeing condo sales even with the current
Yes.
state of the market right now?
Absolutely. If
Yeah.
the if they're priced right, they're going to sell.
Okay.
If they're priced right, they're going to sell.
Okay.
Yes.
How about taxes? How is taxes, the tax increase that's happening in the entire state of Florida? How is that affecting the market with sales at the moment?
I mean, I can only talk about Miami. Miami's a different animal. We get people from everywhere in the world that, how can I say this? I don't know how it's possible for people in Miami to keep on paying the rents and the mortgages and the taxes that they're paying with
Because
the salaries that there are.
because
So
10
in my
people, because
opinion, it's
10,
just
10
two
people,
families in one house.
10 people are living in the same house.
It
That's the
has
only
to be.
way. Yeah.
It has to be because just it doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? Like just between the insurance and the property taxes, it's ridiculous the amount of that you're paying just in those two things.
And as far as like foreclosures, are you seeing a lot of foreclosures? Because I know like
No,
in the
I
West
looked up the
Coast,
other day. I looked up
okay,
the other day.
like
I looked in.
if you look at the west coast of Florida, todo lo que es Naples, Fort Myers, it's thousands and thousands of foreclosed properties. People aren't touching them. They're still not even able to get renovated from the last hurricane that smacked them over there. Then you have all the HOAs, the taxes, the insurances, and it's just like property after property, and people aren't even able to rent their vacant properties at this point. Nobody's touching that area. But you're not seeing that's happening in Miami.
Miami, I
Like,
told you, Miami's another animal.
like in
Miami has
Miami's
people from
sexy.
everywhere in the
Miami's
world.
sexy. Miami's sexy. Miami's become like the LA, New York. It's
That's
sexy.
it.
Yeah,
If the guy that works at Publix is not buying the house, it doesn't matter because guess what? The guy that came from Los Angeles is buying it cash.
that's right. That's right.
The South American who the American says, "Oh my God, it's 7% interest rates. The rates are disgusting." The Colombian that pays 15% over there says, "Holy crap,
Tremendo deal.
7%? Give
Right,
me two of them."
right,
So
right.
that's what's happening.
And are you noticing that homes, because before it was like you would list a house and it was like boom, off the market in a day or two you had 20 offers.
Yeah.
Is it still like that, or has
No,
that at least slowed down a little bit?
that's slowed down. So the market it's slowed down in the sense that you don't have the bidding wars that you had.
Hmm.
You know, people, for example, if I have a listing listed at 990,000, you end up selling it maybe at 950, 940.
Okay.
I had another listing 1.9. It ended up selling for 1.7, 1.8. That one under contract. So you're selling it for under, but I mean, it's still a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
It's still a lot of money for
That's
these
cool. That's $1
properties.
million. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What about with the rents in the market? Are they still, when I left, a 2-1 was going easily for 3,500, $4,000 a month.
Yeah.
Has that dropped a little bit?
No,
No, it's still the same thing.
no. Again, you may find that a few owners that, okay, they listed it at 2,500, they rent for 2,450, but that whole like, oh, I want 2,000 and now they're only giving 1,500. No,
Yeah.
$100 difference. $100. $100.
Yeah, tú sabes. So no hope. No hope for a lot of people. Everybody's gonna still have to stay living in efficiencies, and I guess, huh?
If you want Miami, inefficiency 1,600
I
bucks.
know, 1,800
Inefficiency is
bucks. Isn't
$2,000.
that insane? Do
Inefficiency.
you remember when efficiencies were like $400, $500 in Miami? And you had like a nice little apartment, it was you had the kitchen, the bedroom, it was all separated, and you were paying 450, you
Yeah,
know? That's insane. That's insane. So if you could give anybody right now that is currently looking in the Miami market to buy, let's say first-time homeowners, right?
right.
And now they're telling you it's not going to happen. The American dream is gone. You can't buy a house anymore. They're too expensive. Give some suggestions then for the average Joe that's looking to buy something affordable in Miami. How could they be able to segue in there with your knowledge and what
Uh,
areas?
the best way to do it now, if you don't have a lot of money and you want to buy something from a developer.
Like new construction, you're saying?
New construction. A developer, maybe it's not in the area you want. You have to go a little bit down south, but it's a good way to start. Developers right now, they're giving all your closing costs. They're helping you with your with the price. Um, you can buy down interest rates. So let's say if you're qualified with a 6.5, they're giving credits where you end up paying with a 4.5% interest rate.
Right.
So at least to start, go that route.
Pre-construction. Pre-construction is
Yes.
the way to go.
For the benefits that you're getting.
Hmm.
They're paying your closing costs. You're saving $25,000 on that end, 30,000 on that end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the best way to do it. Maybe you have to drive an extra 30 minutes, but who cares? Like Miami is traffic all day long. There's no more
Horrible.
like I'm gonna leave at 3 to get there on time.
Horrible.
So
Ya eso no
now it's all
existe.
day.
Yeah, ya eso no existe.
So
So is there still a lot of pre-construction happening
there
around
are.
like that Homestead area? Because
Yeah,
I know that Homestead is also, it's not what it
Homestead is
used to be. Homestead, you were
no.
able to get a house for 250, 300. Now you're paying, $700,000 per house in Homestead.
No. Yes, but you can still find good single family homes in the 400s, high 300s.
Hmm.
So I'm telling you, that's the way to go. If it's money wise, stick to new construction. New construction, you're going to get a whole lot of benefits, a lot of benefits.
Do you think that we are going to be experiencing a drop in interest rates anytime soon with the market?
They just dropped 2 days ago.
Okay, so
But
where are we at right now?
they're still in the sixes, but
Okay.
did they drop? Yes. Honestly, what's going to happen? I don't know.
The market, oh yeah,
And
it's
I'm a
tanking.
professional and I've been doing
Yeah,
this forever. I don't know.
yeah,
I- all I can tell you is Miami's not going nowhere.
yeah.
Miami's not gonna
I
tank.
agree with you.
Miami's not gonna.
Yeah, I agree.
Your
Miami's not
investment
gonna.
is safe in Miami, right? But I don't know what's gonna happen with interest rates. Trump is he's causing a lot of stir.
Oh yeah,
You don't know what's gonna happen. That's why I can't give you a professional answer.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
So, JC, if anybody wanted to reach out to you for some additional real estate advice, if they're looking to buy a property, sell a property, rent a property, how can they reach you?
You can go to my Instagram.
Okay, which is
It's fatfree.jc.
I'll be putting this also in the comments section in the YouTube channel so that everybody can get all of your links and contact you as well with your email address. And
Everything is there,
yeah.
and I post things with work, fitness, but not really that much fitness like before. I got burned out with that stuff on social media.
It's a lot.
It
It's a lot. You're
was
really busy.
nonstop.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So you said that you do work with out-of-state buyers, right?
Yes, I
Okay.
work with a lot of international buyers.
Okay.
With
That's good to
everything,
know. That's good to
everything. I
know.
have banks that will lend every type of person. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Okay. All right. So any final thoughts or comments that you would like to end our wonderful podcast with?
As far as the weight loss, don't give up. Like I
Don't
said,
give up.
don't give up. It's all doable. It can happen. If you have any doubts or you're not motivated, go back to my Instagram and look from the beginning.
Yeah.
You're not gonna see.
I'll be posting some of your videos and pictures
Yeah,
so that everybody can kind of see your
yeah.
transformation as well. But
Um,
yeah, it's very motivating. It really is.
yeah. And then that's when it comes to the part of fitness. As far as real estate, advice, your investment is safe in Miami.
Yeah.
Miami is not gonna tank. Miami is the only market that's blowing up and everybody else is going down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have people from everywhere in the world that want to live here, that want to rent here. Um, and if you're gonna buy first time, try to get pre-construction.
Yeah, that's a good
Gonna get a lot of
that's actually great advice because of all the assistance that you get. That's a good point.
you get everything.
Yeah.
Like you have everything, and they have their lenders that will give you, the loans giving 5% down, 3.5% down,
Hmm.
and they pay for your closing costs. Like it's so beneficial.
Yeah, take advantage of
Money
anywhere but
wise,
a home.
that's my advice. If you don't have money and you want to buy, you want to stop renting, do it that route.
That's great advice, JC. Okay, so I don't want to take up any more of your time. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful information. I'm going to go to the gym
You.
as soon as we hang up and go
I'm going
work
to
out.
eat as soon as I finish this.
I'm gonna go work out for like 3 hours on a treadmill.
You don't have to do
Uh,
that.
no, I
You don't
know.
have to do that.
I'm playing around. I'm messing
Just
with
a
you.
heads up. You don't have to do that.
But no, listen, I love your story. I love everything that you post. We've been meaning to do this podcast for months, no exaggeration.
Yeah.
We just haven't been been able to match our times together. But yeah, I think that that you are that story that people can look to and say, like, if you can do it, I can do it, right? Like it's
100%.
all about your mind frame and it's wanting it more than anything in the world, right? Or like you said,
Get
scared,
scared.
scared, right? Like
That's it.
which is true. Like it's like, oh, you're gonna die. What are you gonna do? You gotta stop smoking. You gotta, right? Or you're gonna have a heart attack.
Yeah.
And that's how you do it.
It is what it
So
is.
thank you again, JC. I really
Thank
appreciate it.
you.
I know you're going to go to a nice little tournament now, golf tournament with your son. But to everybody watching, thank you so much for your support. We really appreciate you. If you can click on our channel and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you never miss an episode for amazing guests like JC with their stories of triumph and resilience and just letting us all know that we're all more alike than we're not, right? And we're all here to share our stories to know that it's all possible and that we can get to the same levels. So have a great Saturday. I wish you a
Thank
great
you.
day
You
with your
too.
son,
Thank you so
and
much.
we will keep in touch, my friend.
Okay. Thank you.
Dale, take care. Bye bye.
Bye.